Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Conscious Reality Conversations with me, Rashmi, guiding you each week and talking you through with my hard hitting life experiences about spirituality, awakening, healing, food, fitness, consistency, discipline, grief, trauma, and pain, and how I got to be the person I am today and help you be exactly where you need to be. You can catch this podcast every Monday at 7 p.m. on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my fifth episode of Conscious Reality Conversations with me yet again. So I've had such a lovely response to my earlier podcast, which most of you guys are loving and have told me that it gives me immense strength to speak about so many aspects of my life, absolutely free and smooth. Also insights about how I did overcome so many constant battles and downgrades in my life with humongous challenges. So in this week's episode, it is all about consciously creating and manifesting, which then streams down to what I like to call abundance. I hate the term manifesting as it refers to something being outside of us. And I know we all are born with the ability to create because that's what we are here to do, aren't we? We all are here to create and work on co-creating everything with the universe as we all are conscious creators. Well, how do I know this? I've always had quite a life when it comes to money and manifesting, and trust me on that. So let's explore what that was. Let me travel back in time when I was about 23 at age and I started my first job as a school teacher back in Mumbai. When back then I had a bare minimum salary. I can't even think of it. But since then, back then I was staying with my parents and I kind of always had that feeling of safety and security with a soft blanket around me. Like parents are always there and you feel so supportive. But yet I recall that fire and passion within me for wanting and also a desire to gather more. In short, I was secretly manifesting a more upgraded life, to be honest. Well, a few wrong or right, I don't know what to call it now, decisions back then when I was 25 made all of those aspirations slowly crumble out to just being on survival mode. I moved out of my parents' home. I was in a relationship and a mighty long one for about almost 12 years, which today I consider as a part of abundance and life teachings, which honestly I didn't back then. Because when you're in a survival mode zone, everything looks so bleak, faint, with fog surrounding it because you're all the time wanting to come out of that situation because it puts and instills so much of fear in you. But when you're out of it, it feels like a manifestation portal. But trust me, it's not, as everything we desire or want is outside of us. Because when we look within, which most of us don't, we simply refuse to look within because that's exactly where all the answers and everything you want to know lies. So back then, the story of the survival mode continued on so many broken aspects for over a decade. But guess what? Each time I secretly wished for something with so much of faith and existence, it just simply happened. And I survived and I moved on. So working through so many jobs right from age 25 as being a teacher to being a banker to doing events, corporate sales and marketing, and then also having my own jewelry label for 6 years. I remember this started in 2008 up until 14. I was also so much in gratitude because that emotion of being thankful always stayed along, which led me to conscious abundance. Now, when I think of it in retrospect, yes, it always led me further. And all of these actions happening on an autopilot mode, actually they were, because I truly trusted myself and the ability to create and co-create in whatever situation I was at. Anyways, so every time things fell apart as I changed so many jobs, I innately had that strong hold consciously that something is coming my way. That butterfly feeling from you when you want to trust what's happening, but the outside circumstances don't help you trust that. And I will excel as I always do in whatever I do or take up. Isn't that such abundance mentality feeling? Because Even when life is throwing pebbles at you, you're simply gathering all of them to make a wall out of it. That has always been my approach. So, for listeners who know about my work currently as a crystal healer and a metaphysical teacher, that's when I began my journey way back in 2008 when I was designing jewelry using crystals and semi precious stones. That was my very first label called Sparkling Days. That's my first baby. And I was so much in pride about what I used to do because it was such a different and unique concept. See, what I did then has become mine now. And how wondrous is that? Because I started my work with crystals back in 2008, and now I'm a full fledged crystal healer. I recall my mom telling me this, and it goes, education never ever goes waste. It's the knowledge you get out of it which will always and can be used anywhere and everywhere. Such profound words and pearls of wisdom. So thank you, Mama, for that. So even with that bare minimum to survive, I always had this thing, be it about clothes or food or, anything around me, that whatever I buy has to be the topmost quality. But of course, back then, the first thing I used to do was check the price tag because I had bare minimum. I was in a survival mode. My point to tell you this is that there is no harm in checking the price, but definitely not buying something you truly need or want just because of it is such a huge hindrance and a block to your abundance mindset. And you know why? Because the universe simply says, ask everything that you want, see and feel yourself totally worthy of it, and without a shadow of doubt, you will receive it. And trust me, I'm a live example of this. I knew I was speaking my truth and helping heal the collective around me for my own pain. And what I understood is that money is just a freaking energy which comes and goes. But what's most important is the mindset of wealth and abundance, which we need to always bask in. I so consciously recall I was struggling so bad with my finances. And as even in that 12-year-old relationship, the task to get maximum money to the table was mine. Although right now, I can't believe that it was me. But well, that's the hardcore reality of my life. And I truly can't escape. And I also don't want to escape it because I have learned and elevated from it such big time. Few years passed by in the same squeezed survival mode of hand to mouth situation. And it was early 2014 when I woke up. I had a Kundalini awakening. I woke up spiritually to such a large extent, not undermining my self-worth and self-love anymore. And I decided to move and shift my entire base from this so traumatical survival mode situation. I had hit so many rock bottoms in my life, and the fear of losing everything and having nothing was so profound. And that fear truly showed me that nothing really matters from being happy and present in this very moment. And that's when I collated all of those positive conscious realities of me. And that's exactly when Dubai happened. Talking about Dubai, so when I came to Dubai as a tourist in 2011, yes, it was May of 2011, I distinctly remember, I loved this place so much that I actually ended up attracting with all my conscious energy and power within to be settling here very soon. And voila, 2014, it happened. We all are creating every single second. We are creating for the past, the present, and even the frickin' future. Truth being told, whether it's good or bad, and what actually counts is the belief behind that thought. Because we are not the thought, we are not the feelings, but the pure consciousness within. And the gap which is between that is where manifestation happens because we are in a state of nothingness. I had lost everything, including myself, but the phoenix in me and what I am made up of helped me restart my life all over again with just merely 2,000 dirhams. I borrowed some, money from my family member, and I quickly returned it back to them. When I started to find my ground, I started my Dubai journey. So go check out my first episode of this podcast, My Dubai Journey, and link up the story. So in short, I would like to share some tips for an abundance mindset. The first one being, to create the life of abundance, you have to have the belief that you deserve. Every pore and molecule of you needs to believe that that you deserve, and you find yourself worthy of it subconsciously too. And if you're going to listen and believe to those thoughts and feelings which don't let you believe or understand that abundance is your birthright, because most of these feelings arise from ego and lack, you're definitely going to block yourself from abundance. And trust me on this. This is such a hardcore reality. The second one is you need to meditate very frequently or as much as you can, and create a vision board of your reality. So when I talk about a vision board, it's creating what you really want inside of you, which makes you do what you're truly capable of and worthy of. Honestly, according to me, this external way of vision board and all really sucks. And it's such a drama we end up creating. But you have to let go of the attachments, because you know how important the inner work is. You have to let go of that fear. You have to let go of all that wounding and just be. The third one is you need to take the leap, even if that is on a risk, as life and abundance lies on the other side of this risk, which most people never take. Trust me, our brain is such a powerful instrument because we are all the time co-creating with the universe. If you're doing the same thing always and every single time, you're going to get absolutely the same results no matter what. The fourth one is such a hardcore reality and a personal favorite of mine, which is to find out what your blocks are. Figure out those repetitive patterns blocking you from an abundance mindset. The only way to find them is through doing the work, which is inner child healing, shadow work, breath work, hypnosis, trauma wounding, be it any kind of internal work, to truly understand the roadblocks and what is it that is stopping you and not helping you get where you truly deserve to be. Take my word for it once again, as I've seen all of it in my life. I have been a pillar of my own life, being a single woman for the last 11 years, always supporting and looked at after myself, out of myself and inside of myself, knowing that I'm absolutely worthy and capable of it. So remember, we are all here to have that wholesome, worthy, and enjoyable life. Having fun, find out what your purpose and passion is. We are here to find out what we are creative at and make the full-blown best of that creativity. That's the best advice I can give. So until the next time, stay abundant, stay lit, and be on that journey to know and figure out your true purpose, discover your identity, and bask in it. Because you truly are a beautiful star from the heaven. As always, love and abundance. Signing off.